discussions about, should he have done this? Should he do this? If you can rest him, that probably would be the thing to do. But just keep it really simple and just have him and whoever it is who's going to play alongside him, Lindelof or Bailly or whoever it's going to be, Phil Jones or whoever.
Do you just have a thing that you just want to mention Phil Jones in every podcast, like in some form or another?
Yeah, if you're not going to play him as a goon to protect Bruno Fernandes, then that's it. And just have him, and maybe you have to keep the captaincy on him probably in the situation, but just keep it really simple, and then in 6 weeks' time, and he probably now won't play for England because of his suspension, so that might be a way for him to step out of the international for a little bit, and then in 3 months' time, if Man United sort of tighten up defensively, then it'll all be okay for him. He's a good central defender. His transfer value got ratcheted up because of his performances for Leicester and for England, and that's why he cost 80 million. That's why he cost that much. You can't do anything about a transfer fee. That's how much he cost.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's still a good, solid central defender if he's got the right cover and if he knows the formation he's playing in. So I think you just keep it really, really simple. And all you're going to be saying to him, "You're my centre back. You're my captain. Just go out and do that. Don't worry about the people who are writing about you for England. Don't worry about that. Just go out and head the ball clear, boot it clear. Keep it really, really simple. And that's the way to do it. I think that's how I'd treat him. He is. And also the fact, as good as it would be to be able to take him out and, have him go away and clear his mind and come back as a professional refocused and everything, I
think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. I think he just. So I was reading again and down the rabbit hole on Twitter, and some guy had said, "Oh, he needs a break, he needs a holiday." And Gary Lineker came out and said, "Yes. Rubbish. He'll be fine." You don't get away with it. Every professional footballer goes through it. I think you're right in saying that it wasn't his fault that his transfer fee was ratcheted up to what it was. That's just what although if Harry Maguire was £80 million, then I don't imagine what Declan Gallagher is going to, after his performances, 120 million. I think would get him. But but in all seriousness, he needs to play. And but I think the thing is, like, his pals need to help him out.
Oh yeah,
So like, if he's playing with Eric Bailly needs to step up and say, right, I'll take the lead on this. You just. Or his pals need to get around him, or his teammates need to get around him and start coming out and doing if you say like what Solskjaer has to do and come out and says, right, he's my guy, he's my captain, he's my centre half. His players, his teammates need to come out and do the same thing. You can't imagine like Paul Pogba coming out and supporting him, can you? No. But so I think his teammates have got a big part to play in this as well. So listen, like, just good luck to the lad. Nobody likes to see anybody suffering the way he is. And he's had his personal problems, and people are pillorying for that. But I imagine if you put yourself in his position, a lot of people would have done the exact same thing that he did. But where can you take the moral high ground on that? Okay, so that's the Premier League. Now, I talked a little bit about Hamilton Accies and given how much I didn't want to talk about them, given how bad they were in the League Cup. So, how's Hartlepool? How did Hartlepool get on this week?
So, well, let's just say I was pessimistic at the start of the season. As years of being a Hartlepool fan has kind of taught me to be. And last time we spoke, it was just after the first game of the season when we'd beaten Aldershot in the sort of first game of the season. We then went away to Chesterfield and had a 2-1 win. Sort of came from behind to win 2-1. Then at last weekend, another sort of like tricky game away at Maidenhead, and we came away with a 4-0 win.
So would that be correct in saying, James, that you are undefeated in the opening 3 games of the season?
Yes, undefeated. Well, not just undefeated. We won the first 3 games of the season, and then the other night we played Bromley at home. Unfortunately, could only get a 0-0 draw. But it's been a very, very good start of the season for Hartlepool. I don't know if you'll remember that the first game of the season. I said the only real negative that came out of it was our new signing, Claudio Fuso. We looked a little bit. He'd been our top scorer in the pre-season, and we'd had players coming on loan, strikers coming on loan, sort of late in the pre-season. He kind of started on the left-hand side. He looked a lot better against Chesterfield, And then against Maidenhead, he scored a really good goal that was, I mean, I'm going to say it. It was Thierry Henry-like. You know, it was well, basically it was played in on the left-hand side of the box. He just carried it in with his right foot, just basically whipped it across the keeper into the side netting. Sort of imagine that from left-hand side, coming in from left-hand side, right foot, whip it into the side netting. It was a really, really good goal. Basically, the only kind of downside has been Gary Liddell, our very experienced centre-back who sort of returned to the club over on loan last season, and we signed him this season. He actually got injured in the Chesterfield game, and we had to bring in namesake of famous film director Ryan Johnson had to come in. Excellent. Played at centre back for us, and since then he's scored 2 goals in the next 2 games. So he's definitely doing a job for us as well at both ends of the pitch. And basically, it looks like Gary Liddell hasn't even been missed. You know, we've had 2 clean sheets since he came out of the team. Basically, we look quite solid at the back. And against Bromley, we were slightly... The forward kind of line still isn't quite sort of set up. We played Afusu down the centre in this game and kind of started with a left winger, sort of an out left winger, Ryan Oates on the left-hand side. And we didn't quite have the presence up front that we had done in the previous matches. Afusu is basically learning his trade at this level. He's played the league below. This is his first season sort of in the National League. So I just wanted to mention a really good positive start from Hartlepool. Looked like a goal.
I would say it's more than a positive start because I am looking at the National League table and Hartlepool are top, mate. So
yes, we are.
The only team in the RTL Eastleigh are undefeated as well. They just play a game less. But I obviously it's a fantastic start, and as I say, I've known you for 10 years. And I have seen you go through the highs, mostly lows, and then obviously falling down to the National League was really disappointing, and they've never really looked like getting out of it. So maybe this is the year.
Yeah, we seem to. So Dave Chandler has come in as a manager, and we did put a decent sort of run together middle of last season, and it'd be nice to say that if the season had continued, we could have made a run for the playoffs. We might have got there in the end, but you can never really tell. Yeah. But the signings that he's brought in seem to be doing the business. I mentioned Bloomfield. He kind of made his debut he kind of came off the bench against Aldershot, and he's looked like a good presence up front, a big strong lad up front to kind of add another dynamic to the team. But I've got to give a shout out to Gav Holohan. We posted it on the Sporty Ushers Twitter, so if you want to check out on there. But there was a couple of spectacular goals at the weekend from Hamilton and from Hartlepool, and yes. I think Gav Holohan's strike from the edge of the area, thunderbolt from 25 yards. That kind of took a deflection, but never mind. That was probably my goal of the weekend.
It was a personal mind. It was. I thought Charlie Trafford's was the best goal I've seen all weekend, and then you won up. Yeah. And I have to admit that was a great goal. So.
There's also, if you want to watch the highlights of that 4-0 win, Rob Stelling, actually, son of some guy called Jeff.
Oh, right, okay.
A guy called Jeff.
Who does he support again?
I'm not sure. But he was on the co-commentary. And basically, and also Ryan Johnson's goal is basically, it's kind of like the ball kind of bobbles. Well, Hartley will keep the ball in the penalty area from a cross. And Ryan Johnson hits it from about 6 yards out. And it's one of them goals. It goes in off the bar, bounces down and into the roof of the net and bounces down again. And it looks like a really spectacular goal because it was such a clean hit. But yeah, there's definitely some really good kind of it's not just a good start to the season. Like I said, there's positives throughout the team. It's not like we've beaten 3 teams and got a draw. We've got a genuine goal threat going forward. We've got options. We've got a really solid midfield for the level that we're at. And defensively, we're really, really good. And I want to give another shout out as well to Lewis Cass, the right back that we got, and David Ferguson, left back we got from York. They look like 2 really good for the level that we're at. They look like 2 really good, dangerous centre back, full backs to have sort of, and they really add another string to our bow going forward. Let's say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool. I'm very, very happy at the minute. Very, very happy at the minute as a Hartlepool fan.
There's lots of positivity around the Sporty Ushers today, which is great to see. Okay, so we'll finish up as is our kind kind of tradition now, I suppose. As 2 weeks in a row a tradition.
Yeah.
But, so we'll kind of have a look at the sort of Women's Super League. So, James, talk us through the Women's Super League results from the weekend.
Well, so there was slightly called off over the weekend, a few COVID kind of issues, but basically the big game of the weekend was as you can probably imagine was Chelsea versus Manchester City. That was a big one. Manchester City have got, of course, probably some of the most famous sort of English players in the game. Steph Houghton, Lucy Bronze.
Yes,
has just come back from Lille. She's like the right back. She's genuinely a world class right back. Has won world players of the year kind of
Champions League and stuff like that.
Yeah, she's a really quality. And Chelsea were the champions last year in the sort of shortened season, and basically Chelsea kind of almost did a job on them. They kind of kept the ball really well, kind of took the chances, and then Fran Kirby, who's someone that I've meant to mention for the last couple of years for the last couple of weeks, because she kind of missed out last season because she had an inflammation around her heart, pericarditis.
All right.
And she was kind of out for, most of this year. She kind of had to sit on a sofa and kind of just hope she was going to be okay. And she basically came back and she set up one of the goals. She had the second goal, and her finish for the third goal is basically Chelsea were 2-0 up. Man City got a penalty and got back into it. And then there's a little bit of a break, and she basically just really coolly takes the ball beyond the last defender and just draws the keeper out, slots it past them. It was just a really, really good goal. And Fran Kirby kind of was basically the difference in the kind of between the two, and that puts Chelsea it's a big statement win for Chelsea because Arsenal are top of the league with they're another very convincing win. Medina sort of got some more goals. She's got 49 goals in her first 49 games for Arsenal, I think it is.
Excellent.
Something really a spectacular sort of goal scoring rate. But then Everton as well had a 3-1 win to their men's and women's teams are both doing really well there.
They seem to be. So for Everton and Arsenal are the two teams with 100% records so far, and then Chelsea and Man United they remain unbeaten. They've had a draw. But then I think we've mentioned this before. It was always Arsenal. I remember when women's football first started being mentioned in the same sort of breath as the men. And it was always Arsenal. Arsenal always won everything. But then Man City and Chelsea, they started coming into it. And now you've got Man United, now you've got Everton and Tottenham and stuff. So, it's very exciting. And it's good to see players like Lucy Bronze, who had to go abroad to, probably get paid what she was worth, I imagine.
Yeah, definitely,
but it's good to see her back in England. So she's gone over. She won the Champions League with Lyon, and now she's back in England, which is great to see. So, but it'll be a couple of years before Mills and stuff like that. Will probably while the weaker teams get better, there'll probably be a few more games like that. But I do love the fact that you can get it on the BBC now as well. So Man United as well. They had a win over Tottenham. Man United, they're kind of two American imports as well. They're kind of getting more up to speed. Because they missed a lot of football, so they're sort of like Heath and Press. They're two kind of like American imports, and they got a win over Tottenham that basically was inspired by them too. And Tottenham still haven't quite got Alex Morgan up to fitness yet, but I think it could be good to see them in the latter half of the season because Tottenham are currently sat on 1 point from 4 games. So I think this season could be almost already. You're kind of like thinking that a top half finish is their kind of limit. But I think with Alex Morgan in, they generally could go they could go on a very good run. So I think it's still worth keeping an eye on Tottenham. There is one more thing one more person that I want to mention that again, like Fran Kirby, someone I've meant to mention for a while. But Brighton have got a player from Guernsey. Now, can you think of any famous footballers who come from Guernsey? Oh, I can.
Yeah.
It would have to be Matt Le Tissier, surely.
Matt Le Tissier, yes. Despite Guernsey being a very, very small place, she is totally unrelated to Matt Le Tissier. However, her name is Maya Le Tissier.
Nah.
Yeah, I just think it's absolutely phenomenal that there are two unrelated families in Guernsey, both called Le Tissier. But yeah, apparently...
And both project professional footballers.
Yeah.
Come on,
I know.
man.
Yeah. It's remarkable. But she plays for Brighton, and it's always sort of